This is Evangelist George McTire of the Word of God Ministry. And if you looked at the title of this video, I guess you're probably wondering why I entitled it the way that I did. I want to show you something, first of all, by playing a video from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and then I'll come back and tell you why I'm saying what I'm getting ready to say and why I entitled this video the way that it is titled. Stay tuned.
Run things.
Yeah.
I'll close with this. Our brother was selected before he was elected. Wait a minute. Now, all of you know something about kingmakers. When people in back rooms come to somebody who's popular, somebody who's intelligent, that don't speak with a Negro dialect, a light-skinned Negro, that is non-threatening to white people because they can see themselves in him because he's part them and part us.
Right.
This is political scheming, which Senator Reid got involved in. He didn't mean no harm. He was just talking about the white mentality.
Right. That's right.
So now, when you select a man, the man may never know what your purpose was. Because I understand that his initial victory in Iowa was financed largely by Goldman Sachs. I don't know the truth. That's what I've read. Now look, who selected a junior senator that hadn't even got his foot wet in the Senate and made him believe that he, from that position, could become President of the United States? I suggest to you that the people that looked at him and saw his brilliance, saw that that brilliance could be used for a purpose that was not our agenda. Now, I'm closing now. The people that chose him know the time that we are living at the end of America's rule as a great power in the world. Now you have to face it. She's bankrupt. What are you going to do when the dollar is worth nothing? They are printing money out of thin air to back these programs. So my brother may be disappointing some that thought he would be what maybe he has the nerve not to be. So I say to all of you in this room and all who are watching by television, we need to pray for our brother and his family and warn America, leave that brother alone.
Okay, there you have it from the lips of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan addressing how that the Democratic Party, the party that most of you black folks claim is your protector against the racist policies of Donald Trump and the Republican Party, and how that the Republicans scheme and connive and things and lie to get things done the way they want them to be done at the cost of the black community, making the black community suffer. But yet here you have Louis Farrakhan, and basically he's saying the same thing I have been saying for years, and that is this: Barack Obama, even though he was elected President of the United States back in 2008, was not really the president. What he was a straw man or somebody, a figurehead that was put up in front of the people for one specific purpose, and that was to enable the Democrats to enact laws and amendments and put judges on courts and things that they were not previously able to do when Bill Clinton was president. You remember when Bill Clinton tried to redo the medical, health care and things. He put Hillary in charge of that, and he wanted to do a whole bunch of other things, but the only thing that was stopping him back then was the black community. They did not trust Bill Clinton because of Bill Clinton's past history, plus even his fact that his lying to Congress and things about his affairs with all these different women and things. Black folks just didn't trust him, so they said, no, you can't, we aren't going to stand behind you if you try to do this. So the Democrats were in a conundrum. They were all wondering, well, how can we get this done? We need to get this done to help ensure that we can have power into, for decades to come. But we need to get this stuff done, but we can't get it done because black folks are standing in the way. Somebody, like Minister Farrakhan said, got together in a back room and they said, hey, wait a minute. What if we put somebody in the office of the presidency that is black? Then the black community will be behind that person, because that person will be the first black president of the United States. It'll be a history-making deal. Black folks will come out in droves to support this man, and once we get him in office, we can get him to enact these amendments and things that we're trying to get done or get passed, but we're not able to do it because the black community is against it. The problem is, see, they had Hillary Clinton, who wanted to try to run after George Bush, but they said it's another Clinton, and we can't have that because black folks don't trust us now as it is. So they told Hillary, look, Hillary, you're going to have to bow out of this. We want to put a black face in the White House so that we can get our agenda started and move it forward. Health care, environmental issues, global warming and stuff like that. We can load up the courts, the federal courts, with our judges to stand in the way of what the GOP is trying to do, all at the same time with the full support of the black community. Now, the reason why I say and entitle this message the way I did is because Joe Biden, who under Obama was vice president, he was actually pulling the strings on what Obama was doing. Now, why do I say that? Well, like Louis Farrakhan said, how can somebody who comes to Washington ain't even got his feet wet in being a U.S. Senator, after a couple of years there, all of a sudden getting him to be president? Here's what you don't know if you follow how things go in Washington. I don't know whether many of you do, but see, I know how things work there because I have contacts there in the House and in the Senate, and I'm pretty well informed. Anytime a new person comes to Congress or the Senate for the first time, they have senior senators and congresspeople to guide them, show them the ropes, how things work, the do's and the don'ts, what to say, what not to say. And basically you'd have a situation where the person basically is like a tutor or whatever it is to help train the person to for them to show them the ropes. When Obama got to Washington, guess who his tutor was? Joe Biden. Now, you can see where I'm going with this, right? Joe Biden is showing Obama the ropes, and then they throw this thing on him. Hey, why don't you run for president? You could actually make a difference here. You can get the black vote behind you and things and carry on, and you can be the first black president in history of the United States, and it'll break down the color barriers, and they just loaded him up, just like Minister Farrakhan said, getting him to believe all this hype, while at the same time they were hiding their real agenda even from him, because Obama didn't know what it was they were going to try to have him do and why they were getting him to do it. All he knew is this was a chance to make history, and he went for it. The only stipulation was, when you win, it wasn't a case of if you win, but they were pretty sure he was going to win. You're going to have to keep somebody with you to show you the ropes. Hence, Joe Biden, vice president, running on the ticket with Barack Obama. And what happened is, while the American public went out and voted for Obama, in the back rooms, it was Joe Biden that was telling Obama what to do, how to do it this way, and what not to do. Obama was still in training with his teacher right there in the public eye, looking like he's the vice president, when in actuality Obama was nothing more than Biden and the Democratic Party's puppet. And what happened when he got in office? Naturally, he started issuing executive orders to do this and to do that. Democrats started loading up the federal courts with activist judges, you know, to help them get in global warming legislation, environmental legislation, some civil rights legislation and things like that. All of that stuff together, all for the same reason, and that is to use the black man, or use a black man, to control the black community and support an agenda, to get the black community to support an agenda which, when you look at it at its final conclusion, is only going to help keep the black community under the Democratic Party's feet. And you want to call the GOP racist. What's more racist than what the Democratic Party did with Barack Hussein Obama?